Glenn, I think some of us at some level have expected this day for quite a while. Rudy Giuliani officially named a target of a criminal investigation. What does that change for Giuliani and for Donald Trump?
Yeah, Lawrence, Rudy Giuliani's resume really took a turn for the worse today because, on the one hand, yes, he's the former New York City mayor. He's a former United States attorney. He is the former personal attorney to the president of the United States. But now he has to include on his resume that he is the target of a criminal investigation into election fraud. And there's a technical definition of target. And I actually pulled out my old U.S. Attorney's Manual. That's sort of the procedural Bible by which we federal prosecutors do business. And it's a definition of target that is pretty much universally accepted, even in the state systems. And I want to read it verbatim. A target is a person as to whom the prosecutor or the grand jury has substantial evidence linking him or her to the commission of a crime and who, in the judgment of the prosecutor, is a putative defendant. And I can translate that into English, Lawrence. A target is the guy we're looking to indict.
But not necessarily the only guy in any particular grand jury.
No, we can have multiple targets. And the fact that Rudy Giuliani's lawyers were just put on notice by District Attorney Fani Willis that he is a target in the grand jury's investigation does not preclude other targets. We all sort of know, based on the way the evidence has developed, that Donald Trump is a likely target. And then we may be hearing Lindsey Graham sort of earning himself the distinguished title of target the way things are going.
So what happens for Giuliani in the grand jury? Just plead the Fifth Amendment to every question?
Yeah, the practical implications are once a prosecutor has told you you are a target, that gives you an easy vehicle to invoke your Fifth Amendment right of against self-incrimination because you've been told we are looking to indict you. Now, he doesn't have to invoke the Fifth. He could certainly waive the Fifth and testify truthfully about the crimes of Donald Trump, but he would also have to testify truthfully about any crimes he may have committed. And I think it unlikely that Rudy will go that route.
So at this stage, the most likely choice for Giuliani is the Fifth Amendment at the grand jury. Then what's the prosecutor's choice?
So the prosecutor's choice will be to proceed with the investigation. And the fact that D.A. Willis has already announced that Rudy Giuliani is a target of the criminal probe suggests to us that she has met that threshold to have somebody designated a target. Substantial evidence linking him to the crime and an intent to indict. So he can invoke the Fifth, and, that may give him some momentary comfort because he won't be compelled to incriminate himself. But that does not stop Fani Willis from asking the grand jury to indict Rudy Giuliani.
What did Donald Trump's lawyers see in this development?
Well, listen, if he ends up being criminally indicted for any number of violations of Georgia state law, then that certainly ratchets up the pressure. And we prosecutors say pressure bursts pipes. So I think that will increase the odds that Rudy Giuliani may decide to save himself and flip, turn, and cooperate against Donald Trump.